the balls have been pumped out of this park, and we play in the bottom of the 7th inning as the White Sox bat. They lead by a run. Qualls got out of the 6th, and here he is starting the 7th. And he misses up and away, ball 1. It'll be Dye, Konerko, and Everett. Action continues for the White Sox out in their pen. And you wonder if we have seen, with Marte getting loose, the end of Jose Contreras. You know what Ozzie Guillen is thinking, as this crowd wants to see one of the White Sox get grazed by a pitch to get down to first. He's gone so long with his starting pitching. He had the 4 straight complete games in the ALCS. It's a tight game, a 1-run game. How's his bullpen going to respond to the layoff? But Contreras seems to be nearing an end to his night.
Yeah, you don't know whether Marte is just up and throwing to get in the game, or just throwing to get his throwing in.
A strike from Qualls. It's 3-1.
Do have a right-handed hitting Willie Taveras to lead off the 8th inning, and then Berkman, who's a switch hitter, but the Sox have seen enough of him from the left side tonight.
Dye chops into short for Everett. Low throw and safe as Lamb can't dig it out. That'll be an error on Adam Everett to start the bottom of the 7th.
Low throw, and Lamb can't come up with it. First error of the ball game, as Adam Everett on an easy play underthrows first base.
Talked to a couple of infielders during October's past who have told me that not only is it an issue for a pitcher after a long layoff, but on a cold night, their arms tend to stiffen up. The end of a long year, and Everett short-armed it over to first. Konerko takes a strike from Qualls. That's the first error of the night, and for Everett, his 3rd of the postseason. Now Bobby Jenks, the closer for the White Sox, joins Marte. Konerko wouldn't chase it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And whenever Jenks gets up, it's not just to get his throwing in.
Those guys are dying for work down there, and Jenks would easily have 2 innings in his arm tonight. Good pitch by Qualls. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Konerko.
Well, you think about that last inning with Contreras. You had the 2-hit batsman, and then another fine play by Joe Creedy to get the White Sox out of that situation. So I think Ozzie perhaps has seen enough.
Runner at first, Jermaine Dye, has been on base 4 times tonight. A homer, 2 walks, and now reaching on an error. Konerko just gets a piece, still 1-2.
Boy, this tailing fastball just chews up Paul Konerko inside.
First pickoff throw over there by Qualls almost took off on Mike Lamb. Qualls is throwing it over to first at about 98.
He's got a radar gun on him throwing the first.
Konerko chops it foul outside third. A.J. Pierzynski tonight has an RBI, also hit into a key double play against Wandy Rodriguez in the 5th. too early, and Qualls held it. Gets Dye in the rundown. Throw over, safe. So a missed chance by the Astros to wipe Jermaine Dye right off the bases.
I will say this, he had a good jump. However, the return throw and Dye sliding to the outside of the bag. Watch Mike Lamb. He does not make the tag. Though Dye thought he had Qualls red even after those two throws over there. And then diving to the outside part of the bag beautifully.
We talk about a fielder, in this case, the pitcher holding it long enough to make the runner commit one way or the other as Konerko pops it into right. Dye will tag, but not advance. Runner at first, one out. Everett coming up. The World Series on Fox, sponsored by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. By Sprint. Sprint, yes you can. By John Hancock, official sponsor of Major League Baseball. And by eBay. Whatever it is, you can get it on eBay. 1 on, 1 out for Everett. Carl 1 for 2. Dropped down a sacrifice bunt his last time up. Big swing by Carl.
I think Carl was trying to hit that last sinker to the north side.
Yeah. 1 on, 1 out. 0-1 pitch. Everett pops it up. Two down. Our John Hancock in-game box score. Podsednik has a hit. Dye with a home run, 2 walks. Has also reached on an error. Konerko has 2 singles. Rowan has a base hit. Pierzynski is held hitless, does have an RBI, but Creedy has not only picked up the solo home run, but 3 good plays over at third. Now Neil Kotz is a lefty, loosening as Damaso Marte sits down. Here's Rowan. Aaron singled his first time up, and he grounds foul outside third. The skyline that we've shown you tonight, sitting behind us here at U.S. Cellular Field and looking out toward Gary, Indiana, is this stadium, which has undergone a renovation. It's 15 years old. Well, what a great job they did taking off a top deck and making this a more cozy ballpark, putting on that mini roof around the top, and it's held a lot of the noise in. And this has been one of the louder stadiums we've visited.
Yeah.
I would say over the past 4 or 5 years.
We experienced it several years ago when the American League won the All-Star game in this ballpark.
With 2 down, Rowan strikes out. Qualls has done his work. He gets the game into the 8th inning, with the White Sox still clinging to a 4-3 lead. Maybe the key stat is at the top. Pitches 80 for Jose Contreras. He hit 2 last inning, 3 on the night. That ties a World Series record, and he's back to work in the 8th. He hits the inside corner with a strike to Taveras. Willie Taveras tonight has dropped down a sacrifice bunt. He's doubled. 1 for 2.
Contreras may be out there for 1 hitter, then bring in Kotz to turn Berkman around.
Into left center field. Rowan is trying to get there, will not. Taveras has another extra base hit off the base of the wall, and he'll hold at second with a leadoff double. Same thing he did in the 6th. And we'll see if Ozzie Guillen is going to go to his bullpen. The last time he had to do it 11 days ago in Game 1 of the ALCS in a Contreras start. And let's see if this is it.
Yeah, he'll go to Kotz right here, trying to get through one more hitter. I think Ozzie, you can see him shaking his head. I'm not sure he's happy with that decision.
Our WebMD health update, no injury, but rusty arms out in that bullpen for the White Sox. You can check your own symptoms as well as learn more about common sports injuries at symptom.webmd.com. This time it's in the 8th. Contreras will give way to the bullpen. Kotz coming in with Berkman coming up.
Now pitching for the White Sox is number 46, Neil Kotz.
Jose Contreras gets into the 8th inning but has to give way to the bullpen. Neil Kotz was terrific out of the bullpen for the White Sox during the regular season. Big numbers, good numbers. Held right-handed batters to a 155 average, lefties 206. And it's been 11 days since the bullpen last made an appearance, and it was Kotz in Game 1 of the ALCS, taking over for Contreras. He deals a strike. Tim, you and I talked to Cliff Polite, was talking about the simulated games that the bullpenners went through during the week and the layoff. He said it felt like spring training again, trying to get their arms loose. Then he talked to Guillen. He said these guys threw the heck out of the ball. Great velocity. And Kotz is 0-2 in a blink on Berkman. The tying run at second, nobody out.
Yeah, at this time of year, adrenaline and the fact that they have not pitched in a long time. It's certainly the proper move, turning Berkman around.
Ball 1. Marte, the lefty, is up again, and Bobby Jenks, the closer for the White Sox, is ready to go. It's Berkman now, Ensberg on deck. Two and two. Berkman with a base hit into left. Tavares will have to hold at third, and it's first and third, nobody out for Houston. So they turn Berkman around. He gets a base hit after 2 quick strikes. And there are runners at the corners with nobody out, and Ensberg coming up.
Looked like a slider over the fat part of the plate. And as good a hitter as Lance Berkman is, he doesn't miss those pitches.
This stadium awfully quiet while the Astros mount their 8th inning rally.
This is why managers will have left, right, left, right. Phil Garner has staggered his lineup so they can't pitch around Lance Berkman.
Now Ensberg, Cox stays in, and Ensberg chases one up and out of the strike zone, strike one. On deck is Lamb, the left-handed hitting first baseman. So Cott stays in. Jenks stays in the bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ensberg 0 for 3 tonight. White Sox have turned 1 double play. Two and one.
Situation once again with nobody out, runners on at first and third. Carl Everett scored on a similar play earlier. On a hard hit ball, you come in from third. On a slowly hit ball to third base, you may not want to do that.
Great speed running at third, and Willie Tavares for Houston. On the inside corner, 2-2.
Right on the corner at the knees.
One away.
Cott's just blowing that fastball right by Morgan Ensberg. The first pitch and then the last pitch.
First and third, 1 out, lefty on lefty. Here is Mike Lamb. Ball 1 scooped up by Pierzynski. Lamb is homered tonight. 1-1. Back in the second. Lamb tied it. Trying to do it here for the Astros, tie it with any one of a number of things. First and third, 1 out. 2-1. Now you're in a spot with Bagwell on deck if you're Ozzie Guillen. If Kotz can get through Lamb, then you have Bobby Jenks,
right,
with his high-octane stuff to come out of the bullpen. 2-2.
He has thrown 10 straight fastballs. And if you're a hitter, you can't look for anything but that right here.
Just ties up Lamb in the defensive swing. It stays 2-2. Two out. Bagwell coming up after the strikeout of Mike Lamb.
All fastballs.
Ian looks down to his bullpen on his way out. And he makes the sign to the bullpen, give me the wide, tall guy. What a job by Kotz. If you're Bobby Jenks, here's what your manager thinks of you. Give me this guy, big guy, tall guy. Jenks coming in, first and third, 2 out, Sox up 1. Hugs for Neil Kotz after a fantastic job out of the bullpen for the White Sox. First from the start of Contreras, then Ozzie Guillen. One of the most important things, and we're going to get a pinch runner. Burke is going to come out of the dugout and run for Berkman. One of the most important things that Ozzie Guillen did this year and the White Sox did was develop Bobby Jenks as their closer. Takatsu started the season as the closer. Hermanson developed into that late inning guy, and then down the stretch it was Jenks, a guy who did not appear against the Angels in the ALCS, the franchise that cut him loose. 25-year-old brings it, 99, strike 1.
.99 miles an hour.
And Bagwell with that bad right shoulder in the lineup as the DH tonight, 0 for 1, hit by a pitch twice. Finally getting a chance in the World Series, and what a chance this is in the 8th. First and third, down a run, 2 out. Runner goes, and Bagwell down on a knee. After that swing, it's 0-2.
If the pitch is tough to hit, they're tough to handle from a catcher's standpoint. He had 4 wild pitches in 39 innings this year.
And Pierzynski just happy to catch that. Burke takes second, and now a hit gives the Astros their first lead of the night. Scouts will tell you the best pure power in the majors comes out of the right arm of Bobby Jenks. It had him as high as 102. He's thrown 99, and he has Bagwell at a ball and 2 strikes. Bagwell trying to rescue this inning. 100 miles per hour, it's 2-2. Phil Garner electing to go with Bagwell as his DH. Lane on deck with all eyes on Bagwell. The 37-year-old, over 2,100 big league games, finally in the World Series. A hit could put Houston out in front of the 8th.
And Joe, in the World Series, the world knows that a fastball is coming.
Nothing but heat on a cold night from Jenks so far. They go to the big guy. He brings with him the heat and keeps a 1-run White Sox lead in the 8th inning of Game 1. Chris Burke stays in the game and plays left after pinch running for Berkman. Saw Chris before tonight's game, a product All-American at Tennessee. As Springer enters the game here in the bottom of the 8th. And Burke was all wrapped up in the Tennessee-Alabama game. I said, which one were you more worried about tonight? He said, well, I'm not going to start thinking about game 1 of the World Series until about 6:30. He's now in the game and left as Pierzynski deals with Springer and is up on the count 2-0. The White Sox catcher is 0 for 3 with an RBI. Creedy, one of the heroes to this point for the White Sox, is on deck. Pierzynski grounds a base hit through the right side. It's the top of the hour. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Chris Myers with you. Game 1 of the 2005 World Series. And if you came into this World Series wondering if the bullpen for the White Sox would be rusty, forget about it. 2 strikeouts for Cox, and then Jenks blows one by the bat of Bagwell. And keeps the runners at second and third and keeps a 1-run Chicago lead. Now we're in the bottom of the 8th. Creedy. Strike 1. Creedy has popped up, homered, grounded out, and played a terrific third base.
He has been all over the place at third.
Pitch was up and Creedy fouled it back. The Astros will think back. They've had their leadoff man on each of the last 3 innings. They wasted a leadoff double by Taveras in the 6th, the guy who can run, and a leadoff double by Taveras in the 8th. Had 2 on, 1 out in the 7th, and couldn't do anything with it. Here's an 0-2. Ball 1. One on, nobody out. Creedy spoils it.
For the game, Phil Garner saying that one of the things that upsets him the most is not scoring a runner from third base with less than 2 outs. The Astros had 2 shots, and Neil Kotz struck out Morgan Innsberg, Mike Lamb, and then Jenks in to get Bagwell. What a job.
The 1-2, Creedy. It's a breaking ball foul. Fans, you can join Major League Baseball in our efforts to rebuild the Gulf Coast. Support Habitat for Humanity by calling 1-800-HABITAT or logging on to MLB.com or Habitat.org. Creedy off balance. Looked like Springer took something off that pitch, and in right field, it's Lane for out number 1. 1 on, 1 out. Uribe will step to the plate. Back in the first inning, Jermaine Dye went deep for Chicago. Mike Lamb tied it with a solo shot in the 2nd for Houston. Then in the bottom of the 2nd, an RBI force out hit into by Pierzynski and a 2-out RBI double by Uribe. Astros tied it at the top of the 3rd. It stayed 3-3 until the bottom of the 4th when Creedy went deep, and that is it for the scoring in game 1. Temperature has really dropped over the last hour. Strike 1 on the corner to Uribe. Springer's a guy who a couple of seasons ago sat out the year with arm trouble, but revived his career, and he's been a valuable right-hander out of this very good bullpen for Houston.
That was almost a balk by Russ. Looked like he had his spike on his right foot hang up on the rubber, but he stepped off just in time. Watch. Oh, that was close.
Little extra step there with that right foot.
Yeah.
Breaking ball is inside. 1-1. Six times in his professional career, Springer's been on the DL. But this year with Houston, 4-4, 62 games. Off the end of the bat, shallow left, late break by Burke. He's there. 2 down.
You can imagine the dilemma of Chris Burke. First chance defensively, and his first step was back. Ball off the end of the bat. First step was back, but he recovered in time.
Burke, who came up as an infielder, still trying to get used to the outfield. Game time temperature 51 degrees. It's down to 45, and with a little breeze blowing around this stadium, it feels even cooler than that. So now 2 out. Pierzynski's still at first, and Podsednik is at the plate. Good bender in there for strike 1.
Get the feeling that the crowd here is saying, just get Bobby Jenks back out there. Extra runs are important, but the way he was throwing to Jeff Bagwell, unless that ball is down in the zone, you're not going to hit him.
High and tight. It's something that everybody was willing and anxious to talk about when the Sox were playing the Angels in the ALCS. Here's a guy, Jenks, who one time had a stress fracture in his pitching elbow. Put on waivers, cut loose. Signed by the White Sox, and now they've got a closer that throws 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and he's almost bionic. He's got a screw in that right elbow.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
If you ever try to break out of prison, Tim, that's what it's going to sound like. Now Pierzynski gets it. Running, walking, trotting start down to second. And Springer deals ball 2 down and in. You want to talk about a prison break? That is just flat out larceny by Pierzynski. It's gotten into him, Tim.
I have never seen anybody involved in so many controversial plays in one postseason.
His second steal of the postseason. He had none during the regular year. The biggest steal Pierzynski had in the postseason was stealing first base at the end of Game 2 of the ALCS.
Right. Yep.
And he went down to first in very similar fashion as he did going down to second moments ago, kind of looking over his shoulder the whole way.
With no play.
He's at second. 2 out. And the 2-2 to Podsednik. That's a full count. Podsednik may only have 1 hit tonight, but he has had some good at-bats and made pitchers work to try and get him out. It's a full count here. Podsednik into right center field. It will not be caught, in the White Sox in Game 1 lead by 2. Podsednik will cruise into third base with a 2-out RBI triple.
Outfield positioning was playing Podsednik over toward left center field. Tavares, you can see, into left center field, and this ball is hit right here. High fastball hammered into right center field.
Here's a Gucci. Podsednik at third with 2 down. Strike 1. Tadahito is 0 for 10 this postseason when hitting from the 7th inning on. He gets one here. The White Sox will have their biggest lead of the night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls and a strike with Jermaine Dye next. To right, Lane is there. Game number 1 is sent into the 9th. Jenks back to the hill. Lane, Ausmus, Everett due up. White Sox leading 5-3. Bobby Jenks took care of Jeff Bagwell to end the 8th with 2nd and 3rd and 2 out. Kept the lead 4-3. Now it's 5-3, and it's the bottom 3 in the lineup, starting with Lane, then Ausmus, then Everett. Here in the 9th. 5-3 Chicago, game 1. Strike 1. Lane 0 for 3 tonight. Popped up. Long run for Dye. What a catch, and now he drops it. Had it in his glove and could not hang on. And the count's 0-2 on Lane.
Outfielders slide to make catches like that to prevent an injury, and that's what Jermaine does. He had it in the webbing, but when he hit the ground, the ball pops out.
Had it and lost it. 0-2 on Jason Lane. The first breaking ball from Jenks, 1 out.
No breaking balls to Jeff Bagwell to end the 8th inning. Right here. 99 on the first pitch. Keep your eye trained on the speed gun right there. All 100 miles an hour.
First pitch is strike to Ausmus. Uribe. 2 out. The Astros are in the World Series for the first time in franchise history. The White Sox are in it for the first time in 16,816 days. Back in 1959, they won Game 1 11-0, and then scored a total of 12 runs the next 5 games against the LA Dodgers, losing Game 6 9-3. They're 2 strikes away from a win here in 2005 in Game 1, with Jenks on the mound and Everett at the plate. Game 1 to the White Sox.
The White Sox closer, Jenks, was anything but tonight.
Turning 25 during the end of the year. Pitching like a postseason veteran. Coming out, striking out